Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the new lecture of Advanced Object-Oriented Software Engineering. My name is Dr. Rizwan Jamil Qureshi and I'm covering component-based software engineering process. In the previous video, I covered object-oriented model and rational unified process model. The component-based software engineering process starts similar to the conventional object-oriented software engineering like the rational unified process model, and we begin with the team that gathers the requirements. Like conventional requirement gathering techniques, we have traditional techniques, we have modern techniques, and there are 5 traditional techniques: interview, questionnaire, group interview, observation, and studying system documents. And modern techniques: prototype, JAD, joint application design, GSS, the group support system. Here I want to correct, people call it JAD, which is slang. It's not JAD, it's JAD, joint application design, that was introduced by IBM in 1979. And after gathering the requirements, we move to the architectural design that is composed of software components, and we define the relationships between them. And we cover the use case diagram, the UML part, use case, class diagram, sequence diagram, component diagram, behavioral diagram. So we cover interface design, architectural design, class design. Here basically there are 2 types of domains. We have analysis model, we have design model. Analysis model objective is what is the problem or what are the problems customer is facing, and design model how we are going to solve those problems by having a solution. So design means architectural alternatives, solution alternatives, and analysis model will help us to clearly define the requirements, and the design model how we are going to solve them. The CBSC architecture, it's not operational software, so the objective is to analyze the effectiveness of design during the design, architectural alternatives, regarding the risk, what are the risks associated with the development of software. But rather than moving more clearly about detailed design, software engineering team tries to examine the requirements to reuse instead of constructing new components from the scratch line 1. So the team evaluates the requirements to answer few questions. For example, do we have internally developed components available to implement the requirements? Are the interfaces compatible with within the architecture of the new system to be built? Or the third, are COTS available, commercial off-the-shelf components from the market, from third party, available to implement the requirements? Team try to avoid or modify or delete or remove those requirements that are not possible to reuse. But if customer denied, and most of the cases customer will deny, then you have to perform the software engineering methods to design, to develop those components that are not available in the software company. But for those requirements that can be fulfilled with the existing or reusable components, we have qualification activity, we have adaptation activity, composition activity, update. So there are 4 activities we need to perform before we can reuse any component, previously developed component. The component-based software engineering process model will help us to identify the desirable components. They qualify with the new system, interfaces compatible, how much customization we need to remove or cover the architectural mismatches, then integration of those components within the architecture of the new system, or update component as per the new requirement or as per the new changes. CBSE process model has 5 phases: communication phase, planning phase, the third phase analysis, component selection, risk management, the fourth engineering and testing together, and finally evaluation phase. So communication, planning, analysis, component selection and risk management, engineering and testing, and evaluation. So there are 5 phases of CBSE process model. And on the top of that, we are going to reuse the previously developed components. So we need a repository, software configuration management tool like GitHub, like SVN, subversioning system, or VSS, Microsoft Visual Source Safe. Right now, because we have distributed development, so GitHub is the most popular software configuration management tool for distributed teams. It is in practice. That's the practice. In the communication, we use traditional techniques, modern techniques, the conventional techniques to gather the requirements. Then in the planning, we prepare the project specs, including the feasibility, economic, technical, operational, schedule, and we perform the risk assessment, and we have CBA sheet, cost benefit analysis sheet. We calculate the tangible benefits, intangible benefits, and the tangible benefits, are they covering the cost or not, and when the break-even point will achieve and profit will start. Then we move to the analysis, component selection and risk management. And in the analysis, we perform the detail, we gather the detailed requirements, and after gathering the detailed requirements, we use the repository to reuse the previously developed component to select those components, and then we calculate the risk regarding the development of new components. So there will always be some new components we need to develop. So for the existing components and for the new components, both activities are performed at the analysis phase, the component selection risk management phase, and we try to identify the properties, behavior of the components. Core objective to reuse maximum components rather than reinventing the wheel. It will improve the productivity and efficiency of software engineering team. Then we have selected that how many components we are going to reuse and how many we need to develop from scratch line 1. So the engineering phase and the testing phase, which is one phase, which are merged in the CBSE model, the component-based software engineering model. We have 2 types of activities. We have domain engineering activities and we have CBD activities, the component-based development activities. And then after having the customization, qualification, adaptation, integration regarding the reusable component, and for the new component, we design them, we develop them, we test them, integration testing, unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and then the evaluation phase, we are going for alpha testing, the acceptance testing, and the alpha and the beta are there. In the alpha testing, we call the customer at the software company side to evaluate in front of the team, and the beta testing, we release the software to the customer side, and development team is not present there, so we are going to have open feedback from the customer in terms of defect report. Customer will submit us a defect report. That's enough for today. Thank you very much. Jazakallah khair. May Allah bless you. Assalamu alaikum.